Hey guys, welcome to the challenge, the season finale of Champs versus Pros, and don't worry, we will not be throwing up in the studio.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
It's like
The Eat It rendition of this song.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Ooh.
This is probably the most grossest episode I've seen in a while because Pam and I were just
There was a lot of...
Yeah, we were not watching this episode very much at all, very long at all.
The first half was a lot of...
Well, welcome to the season finale. I'm your host, Paulina Aguilar, and you guys can find me on Twitter at _Paulina Aguilar and on Instagram at Paulina Aguilar. And please welcome my lovely co-host, Pam.
Hello. Hi, guys. My name is Pam Gross, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Pamela Gross Jill. And a shout out to Jenna, who is in New Jersey, and you can find her at Jenna_Bussier. I don't know how to spell it, but yeah, we miss you, Jenna.
Well, we've got no guts, no glory, and boy, did we see a lot of guts, and that was disgusting.
Ooh, true that. Yep, more guts than we wanted to see.
I would have to say, Lindsay, you win that award, because I probably would have done the exact same thing.
A lot of throwing up.
Yeah, I'm not good with food. Like, maybe I can eat mac and cheese, mashed potatoes, fine, that's fine. But like the brain and the body stuff and dessert, you know, I don't like dessert, so that probably would have been a struggle for me too.
You know what? The regular food, I think I would have been totally fine with. The like brains, liver portion of the competition, I am not a barfer by nature. Like, really, probably only a very small handful. So I don't know what would happen to me because I also find that so repulsive.
You'd probably
win. I don't know what I would do. Yeah, I think I might just crush it. I don't know. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. I don't know where you can like scrounge up some brains, but I'll practice. Yeah, but I find it repulsive. But I've been in situations where this is a little too much. We're veering off, but I've been in situations where I've wanted to throw up and I'm not a thrower upper. Yeah, no. Wow. So I don't know. I probably win.
You almost did while watching this show.
I'll gag and I'll feel grossed out, but I don't actually do it. Nope.
Oh God.
Nope.
If I have got it's a done deal for me.
Nope.
Alrighty, so that was the challenge. Where we have them competing for the finals. So Lolo, Gus, and Louise get eliminated.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, do you think Louise would have made it had Lindsay not thrown it up on her cake?
Okay, so we're dealing with in this one. I was beyond even the disgustingness of the eating the brains and liver and stuff. I was amazed at how good they were at shooting hoops. Like, all those girls got them on the first try a lot of time, and that's what I thought was going to be the hardest part. I was like, it's the basketballs that would throw me off my game.
I feel like a lot of people, majority of people, you know, grow up with a hoop in their backyard. You know, they may not have...
I mean, I still wasn't any good at it. It didn't...
But did you have a basketball court?
I had one. Yeah. I had a hoop in my front yard.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
there you go.
I mean, like, for a couple of years. It's not like I played it all the time, but
it's okay though, because I think everybody had one in their backyard, and they go out on a sunny day and shoot a basketball.
Yeah.
And you know, I feel like that's everyone's childhood, and I kind of, you know, you don't need to be a professional or compete.
But I would maybe get 1 out of 20 shots. I don't know about doing it on the So I was impressed with that. So they had to eat the food for the point value, then shoot the hoop correlating to that, and they had to get all 3, and and if they didn't reach 100 points, they were eliminated. So Louise, bringing it back, if someone barfed on my food, no, there's no way in bloody hell, as Louise would say.
There's no amount of money. There's no way anybody can give you.
I really, I mean, honestly, maybe like $1 million. It depends it depends what they barfed up.
Just $1 million? Oh my God, I'd be so much more.
It wasn't like covered in barf. I thought she like barfed on it. I was like, I'm not seeing it. It might have been splashed, but it wasn't like it was drenched or anything. So for $1 million, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'd really like someone to give me $1 million, so I might eat barf for it. Don't a little splash of barf on carrot cake, not a whole like lot of it. But I empathized with her, and I wish we had more Louise screen time in this whole series, because she was just a stitch. Everything she said was so funny. Her like dry sense of humor. So I wish that we had more of her. But yeah, I didn't blame her, and I am still vaguely nauseous from like revisiting this. We can.
I couldn't believe how Wes and Gus just fought over that brain, though. I mean, that must be the easiest thing to eat.
Right, like who knew? Would you like? I want that brain.
Well, now I know if I'm ever in a life or death situation, just to go for the brain.
Eat the brain, yeah. And Cara did the brain, and she got first. So it was like brain, liver. I don't know what the other.
But I guess doing this after a while, you know, you go home after your first challenge eating that stuff. You'd go home and Google it, and
figure out,
and
like,
then the next time
best.
you come up, you're like, all right, I got it.
Yeah.
Or you know, process of elimination. Oh, I've had this. All right, keep going.
Yeah, poor Lindsay. I mean, she was a real trooper because she was not. I mean, I feel like she couldn't even get through a cookie. She was like throwing up from the start. Like she couldn't eat anything. She was. And then the guys had the good strategy. I did like that they're like, look, we're going to be barfing no matter what. We might as well start with the good stuff. So they did get to learn by being the second heat.
I feel like you'd barf afterwards if you were able to keep all that down. But I guess if I were Lindsay, I'd probably do that too, because then you just end up not eating any of it because you puked it all out.
Yeah.
And it still counts and you can continue on.
I don't know. I really, it was a unique challenge because then you're eating and barfing and then running and shooting hoops. The whole thing seemed, again, what frightens me the most is the shooting hoops. So I don't know. This is, I guess, different challenges hit different people differently. Something for everyone in this one.
Well, Lolo seemed to take it the hardest while leaving. She had mentioned that, you know, losing this competition was worse than the Olympics. What do you got to say about that?
Well, to go back to Lolo, she had mentioned that she had gained 20 pounds for like one of her things. So she's like, so this isn't going to stop me.
Right.
I felt bad for her because she really, you know, put a lot of heart into it and gave it her all. But saying that this was more upsetting than not winning the Olympics was a little surprising to me.
Yeah.
You know, I can't speak to what's inside Lolo's mind, but that did certainly surprise me. I would think that not at the Olympics.
I feel like that comes more from like a pride type of thing. I mean, it's the Olympics. If that's not upsetting.
Right. Also, you train your entire life for it, as opposed to, you know, spending 6 weeks against some
schmucks.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but I think maybe that was just maybe she would revisit that and sentiment, later. Yeah, and say, well, maybe the Olympics is a little more important. It was in the moment. She felt really, it was the heat of the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That loss, you know.
But we did see CT nominate Wes. Do you think he should have done that? Or would you have preferred to see CT in there?
Well, so we were a little confused when we were watching it. So it was not confused. We got it together. But so the way that it went, and this whole episode went so fast that it was almost, we had to go back and see. So it was the top male and top female winners. And then and then it was the second place. So then it was Camilla, who actually had the second best time after the two people. So she got to choose, and it was between CT and Wes, and CT sort of nominated Wes, which I thought was cool, like really sweet and nice, but it's like, come on, CT. You don't have it in you to,
That's not in his nature to, for him to...
like that, was he just done? Was that his way of saying like,
Maybe he just wanted to go home to his son.
Yeah, I guess he just wanted to go home to his son. So that was sweet and all. And I guess it did seem like Wes really wanted it. So I guess if CT was like, my heart's not in it, and his clearly is, that was sweet. Because even Camilla was like, all right, come on over here, Wes.
That makes it easy for her.
Yeah. Either one, I think either way, they all had a good, so we had Cara and Darrell for the champs, and then Lindsay and Cam for the pros. So I think both of those were great teams. I think Camilla had a decent, either CT or Wes were both going to be good partners, I think, at the end of that. So the choice was sort of made for her. What was she going to do? CT, you're doing it. I mean, he seemed like to be bowing out.
Well, everyone started doing, helping others because Louise decided to pull money.
Right.
And split everything with Lolo, which
was
nice.
very nice.
Yeah.
It's really, again, I wonder, I'd like to see if the generosity would be there if the money was for themselves. Not for charity. I mean, not that I'm not trying to imply that they're not being generous. It is, but it's one thing.
No,
if
it's a
you're
different sport.
Making a living. Yeah, like, because these people, let's be real, a lot of them, this is literally legit how they make a living.
Right.
Like, this is what they're doing right now, So it's different. Stakes are, of course, you're playing for your charity, but Lolo was like, my charity, my charity, my charity the whole time. And it was so generous of her to share with Ashley after Ashley had gone through all that last week. But at the same time, it's like, if all you're doing this for is the money for your charity, don't be generous with that. But again, I think it's wonderful, and ultimately that all the charities are important, so it is very gracious of all the players to share. But a fight's a fight. They were all a lot kinder than
I like those words.
People
a fight's
are.
A fight.
A fight's a fight. They were all a lot kinder than people are when they're playing for money to keeps.
That is true. I don't think that they would do the same either.
Just saying.
No, I agree. Moving on to the final, because they made this pretty quick, and it was one big obstacle course. So we got Cara, Darrell, Cam, Lindsay, Camilla, and Wes. And
yes,
I liked it. I mean, here's the thing: when you're doing this, isn't like a 3-day 20-mile thing.
Right.
You're in LA because these athletes have to go back to train. They're not going to put them through all that. Have you ever done like a Tough Mudder or anything like that, or like an obstacle course?
The most like thing that I've done like that was obstacle courses, like in summer camp, where we were in the woods and you had to like do rope courses. So I went to a camp where we had they were called Srifim, they're Israeli scouts that really are trained scouts in the Israeli army. So they come to our summer camp and like make us do what they do, but it's like a kiddie dumbed down version. So I've done rope courses and all that stuff. Granted, this was like 15 years ago. Like, I think I was 16, it was a long time ago. So, and I remember it being a lot of fun, but I wasn't competing and it wasn't timed. And
would you do one now? There's a lot out there.
I would totally, well, that's a really great question, because this particular one seemed like the most engaging of all the other ones. My answer would be hands down, hell no. Like, I am not trying to pretend for 1/2 of a second that I could do what these people do at all on any level. Give me a puzzle any day. I don't even want to eat the crap. I mean, maybe I'd like swim or, some water stuff, but I run 3 miles when I work out, and that is like...
So you got some endurance.
Well, that is tops. Like 10 miles with weights and then climbing and I couldn't. I mean, like, literally,
you would do it for $100,000.
I don't know if I physically could. I mean, if I had if that's what I did was train to do that, then maybe. But I have to go during my lunch break at work to the gym, so like I don't have time to train for. Anyway, this one though actually did seem. The running with weight seemed so. Well, let's before that. So okay, I wrote them down each one. So it was the 10.
Stands.
Yeah,
they had to do stands.
That first, that seemed. I could not do it. Would you? You were into this kind of thing, right?
I did a Tough Mudder. I did a Tough Mudder 2 years ago, and I did not train because it was very last minute. As in, hey,
and
I
how
got
many
to
miles
do it for free.
Is that
total? I forgot, but I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the first 8 to 10 miles was just hills and like trail running and climbing and all that stuff.
How many miles? The first
8 to 10 or something like that.
8 to 10. So how long does it take you? Like a full day?
Oh God, no, it did. Yeah. It did, but I got a beer at the end, so that was good.
All right.
Yeah, so we did that, and then you had to climb the walls with the rope. I remember you had to jump. It was like an inclined wall, and you had to jump and reach it and climb, but I couldn't reach it. I was too short. So so one of the firefighters who they ran with their equipment and everything on and carrying this log, he comes up and he just pops his head on over around the ledge and he goes, "Here you go," and he like nothing, just grabs my hand and goes boop like a rag doll, like climbs me over, and I was like, "Thanks."
Right, he was your cam.
Keep going. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it was fun. The worst was probably the ice thing where you had to go and submerge yourself underneath, because it was towards the end and I was freezing and I almost like what came to tears because I was so just done.
Yeah.
And I looked at my baby cousin. I was like, "There's no way I can cry in front of her." So I was like, she would give me so much crap if I did. And so I just, it was. But you know what? It was fun. You really. Get to experience team camaraderie and something like that, and then the support that we got to see tonight in the show, that's nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was fun. I would totally do this.
Again, teenage years, we had color war at my camp. We had to do like long, like 3-day competitions. It was so fun, but the stakes are definitely a different level of high. Yeah, when we see those 3 days competitions, I'm like, on no sleep and freezing and cold. This probably all in was this one. I'm like, yeah, I can begin to conceive of. I don't know. Again, still, this was hard. It was certainly hard.
Yeah. Well, Cam had the hardest time, and here's the thing: the football play. You have Lindsay and so these people run long distance.
Right.
They train for this and they happen to go long distance, but for a football player, it's not like that.
Right.
You're running for a short period of time and then you have a timeout or you get a break, and if you're defense, you have your offense inside. So you get time to relax.
Right.
And take a breather, and so he doesn't have that kind of endurance, and that was probably the hardest thing.
And I mean, he's enormous. Like literally I was almost like, oh, is this healthy? Like he's like a giant running around that much. I was wondering if it's
Darrell.
Yeah. Darrell is just endurance.
Is a beast. But he is good at every little thing that he does. And the fact, what, I was more surprised to see Cara kind of gas out a little bit.
Right.
Because
Cara,
I was expecting
that's my note. Cara,
I was expecting her to just push through and keep up with him.
What about Darrell picking up Cara? Yeah. And running with, well, first of all, Cara, come on, girl, what was that? Like,
right?
Cara is, she's like an endurance runner, isn't that?
Her jam? I can't tell you the last time I've seen her struggle like that.
I wonder why that happened to her. Like
maybe she didn't train enough. I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, how else are you not going to be able to do that is by not exercising and training for something like that.
But that's all she does. I feel like all she does is exercise. Right. Maybe Cara, lay off the CrossFit and start marathoning a little bit for the next one. But we've seen her do 10 miles and not break a sweat. How was this? I don't know. Maybe it would. I don't know. It'd be interesting. I'd love to see, like, Cara, tell us why. Yeah. Because, I was surprised that Cara gassed out, like, pretty early on, like on the fourth.
Yeah.
The fourth thing.
I was rooting for Lindsay and Cam just because they were the only athletes, and I really, really, really wanted them to shut up these champs.
Yeah.
But it's true what they say is that you win it or lose it at the puzzles.
Right.
Because that's where they caught up.
Well, also, I mean, with Lindsay and Cam, for this whole episode, damn, Lindsay, like, shout out to Lindsay.
Carrying that weight.
Yeah, and started out, I remember, when we spoke to Lindsay, and if you didn't listen to that interview, check it out. She was saying on, like, the very first competition, someone was like, oh, that's interesting. Someone from the champs team was remarking that the pros were putting their strongest girls in first, meaning Lolo and Lindsay's like, hey, excuse me. And she wound up taking it home for the pros, thereby crowning her, and for all intents and purposes, the champ of the pros. And so I was happy to see that. Congrats, Lindsay. It was great that she remained victorious, but that was amazing that she was motivating Cam and running, carrying that bag of sand. That was really some intense athleticism.
What was nice to see is the difference from how, as viewers, we watch how the champs motivate each other, and they're nasty and they yell and they cuss and they, get angry when you see a pro athlete who does this for a living, who knows the meaning of a teammate, who just encourages in just a different way. Yeah. And that works. And I think that's, something to learn.
Yeah, absolutely. Sportsmanship
everyone responds to that, though.
Right. Especially if your teammate is frustrated that they're not doing well as well, and you're sitting there prodding them, it's not going to help. And you'd think that our champs would have learned that by now, but some of them haven't.
No, they're hot-headed.
Yeah. But they were good. So yeah, there was a lot of fun. The trenches, the spaghetti and milk. At that point, I was like, that's not bad after what they've done. Spaghetti and milk seemed like
that's
a
like
picnic.
the worst thing to eat though when you're doing something like that. Like I don't like milk, and that I probably
like
would have
milk.
gotten sick on that.
But I like spaghetti.
Yeah, to run on that though.
No, yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I don't know about that. Were you happy with the winners though?
Yes, I was.
Cara and Darrell?
Cara and Darrell. So I was super happy with them. Yeah, I think that they totally, 100% actually. I love Cara. The real winner, though, let's be real here, was Victor Cruz for learning to say Cara, not Cara. It only took him 6 weeks. It's not, his responsibilities were not like that high being the host of this. He could have learned the names of the people. Kara's doing. Victor, you did it. He finally called her Cara tonight when she won, so he's the real winner tonight, I think. But yeah, I love Cara, whatever her name is, Maria. She's one of my favorites, Darrell favorite for sure. And I was really glad that, I love Camilla and Wes as well, but I was glad that a pro came in second.
Yeah.
I think that they deserved it. They were.
Yeah, but Camilla was a little too salty when it came to the puzzles.
Oh, she's like, they cheated.
And that's her. That's a Camilla-nator. I get it. But I mean, I don't know. I can't.
I am glad, though. I was glad about Wes and Camilla for fighting all the way through. I thought that a lot of people, FCT, kind of copped out, at the end, like, because it wasn't, for whatever reason. I can't say why, but, were a little too willing to bow out gracefully. So I liked that Cara and Wes and those people just fought till the end. And the pros all did. I think some of the champs were like, there'll be another one. So I liked seeing that Wes and Camilla were taking it as hard and as intensely as they would a competition.
If it were
not a spin-off competition.
Right. Yeah, I hear you. I thought the football play, I thought they were actually going to have to do it. I didn't know they were going to have to memorize it. And I'm like, okay, there's going to be something set up and they're going to have to do, all those moves. And then all they have to do is memorize it. And I was like, oh, that's it?
Yeah,
okay.
The key to victory, like some weird riddle. Say it. That was the final challenge.
Yeah.
Say that weird thing.
I thought I memorized it. I didn't. Left Pennsylvania, swiggle something. Swiggle
No idea. No idea.
Do you think that this show will come back and be renewed for a second season?
I hope so, and I hope Louise is the host. I would love to have Louise as the host if that happened.
She's gonna be busy training, girl.
She's so great, though. Like
she
should. I'd love to see her on one of these, or even giving commentary if they did like a competitors commentary. Yeah, so I would love to see that. I think that it should. I don't know if I think that it should. I thought it was a great little competition.
Who or what athlete would you want to see on the next season? Like if you had to pick anybody.
Well, my range of knowledge is fairly limited of
That's
pro
okay.
athletes.
That's okay.
So I would have to say that I'm choosing amongst this pool of athletes, and Louise is who I would choose. I like Louise, or who's like a funny athlete. Oh, well, I loved, I love Sean Merriman. I think he would be so fun of a host.
To come back?
Yeah, as the host.
Oh, okay.
Next time around.
Okay.
Yeah, what do you think?
Oh, you know who would be funny, and I just like watch, it would be amazing, would be Shaq. I think he would totally be fun to do something like this. And
I know him.
I want to see him roll around in some mustard. Oh,
you want to see him in it?
No, I want to see him in it.
Oh, okay.
And compete.
In it.
Yeah.
I think it'd be fun to see TJ having to do what
that'd be fun.
TJ
I'll tell you what, though,
great.
Shaq would not be good at those basketball hoops. He was really bad at free throws.
Really?
Yeah, so that would be
Shaq,
hilarious.
You hear it. Paulina's calling you out. You gonna take
Everybody called him out.
You gonna take that?
Oh, man.
Come on.
It would be really fun to see him, though. I really enjoy watching him.
Well, it's interesting. I'm thinking of TJ now, like in his early years, like now he's so great at this, and he's like family. He's a part of the challenge family and the world, and he knows them, and he knows the deal that it's it rolls off the tongue for him. I wonder if he was, you know, athletes do not necessarily great hosts make. So I wonder if, looking back, I'm gonna have to rewatch some super early TJ hosting, if he was sort of stiff. I mean, obviously I'm sure he's
Right. When
evolved
he first began,
into it,
yeah.
but when he first began, I wonder if he
I'm sure that's how I feel like that's how everybody is sometimes.
Yeah.
And then once you start doing it, you get better and you grow and you know, you learn things.
Yeah. I mean, I also think some people like Sean Merriman, for instance, have a natural sort of, you know, some athletes,
Swayed at
it
them.
doesn't, yeah, exactly.
I
a
hear
little,
ya.
you know, so, yeah, I'm going to go back and rewatch some early
I would
Tej.
want to see TJ do this too, though, because he always talks about it. He's like, oh, you know, like I had to try this obstacle course before you guys started and
Yeah.
things like that. I would love to see him do that.
I'd love to
He'd
see The
probably kick
Miz.
everybody's ass,
Yeah.
to be honest. I know he got hurt. He got hurt a while ago, but I think he would do really well.
I don't know. This, as we learned in this episode, it's about the athleticism and so much more. And especially since these competitions, you can be the best. That doesn't always mean, as you just
You're
said,
gonna win.
it's all, sometimes it comes down to a puzzle.
Yeah.
Sometimes it comes down to rolling in mustard. Like, there are things that sometimes it's, you know, blindfolded licorice sword fighting or something, but it's like, those are the things that'll kill you, and you have to be so versatile.
I wish they did trivia. I wanted
Yeah.
to see more trivia.
Well, the reason that would have been a challenge, though, is because because the trivia is always, well, usually, sometimes it's world, but it's often challenge related. And
Yeah,
these
well, they
people
could have
don't.
done like knowledge. You know, they've done that before. Like,
Yeah.
what year was the Declaration signed and things like that. Like, who is so and so married to? You know,
Yeah.
celebrity stuff. So that would have been fun. We didn't get to. You see, we would get to see that part. You know, of the athletes.
They had a lot
Yeah.
to pack into this episode.
They
of,
did.
like,
It was like a challenge, and then the final. I'm like, there's 20
Yeah.
minutes left.
this was a mega
And then-
episode.
And then I'm pretty sure you guys were wondering too what the heck that Universal skit was with Ashley, Shane, Laurel, and Zach. I don't know. I remember when they were filming it.
Uh-huh.
I remember them being in town for it, but I have no idea what it was for.
Well, Laurel's talking about it on social media and stuff, and they were, I mean, it's obviously a Universal tie-in
Yeah.
for the challenge, but what's the end game? Like, is this going to be an ongoing commercial spot?
I don't know.
We're going to have to look into this because
have no
it was
idea.
for
We're gonna have to ask.
Yeah. And more info is needed. If you guys know like what the end game of that is, let us know. Because
Please let us
yeah,
all
where
know.
we were like, wait, so
Yeah, I have no idea. But
very
so
strange.
that's the end of this season. But you guys have been so good at tweeting at us of everything that's coming up, and we have the new season of the challenge. They're calling it the Dirty 30. XXX.
Yes.
And they showed the preview tonight, and this just looks probably one of the funnest challenges we will probably see. Like, I think I read an article with an executive producer that the main thing is it's bad. Like, bad things. Like,
Right.
you know, there's more scheming and more lying, and we see physical fights in this preview tonight, and I just love it.
Yes. Well, I mean, let's be real. This is for $1 million.
Yep.
I think the most
They've
well,
ever
we
done.
know this is the most they've ever
most they've
gotten,
ever
but
done.
I think the most they've ever done was like 300. That
Yeah,
any individual
300.
players,
Yeah.
300. This is a lot more. It's
kinda
more than
hope
3
that
times
they
that.
split it. I hope that there's like a one man, one female, and they split it and they each get 500. Like, it's
It's $1 million. I mean, it's $1 million. I don't know how they're going to break it up. I don't know, but this, I can only imagine how dirty it's going to get for
Yeah.
$1 million.
Well, they did reveal the cast, and so I have the list. I want to go through it real quick.
Okay.
There's Amo, which I actually have no idea. A.K.A. Chris. He's from The Real World, Go Big or Go Home. But I don't remember him. His face looks familiar, but I don't have no idea. Bananas is back, of course.
Bananas.
Corey is there, of course. CT
Okay.
is back. Dario is back. Darrell is back. Let's see who else. Derek H from Are You the One? I think we're gonna have
Okay.
a couple that rookies from Are You the One?
Okay.
And then I'm really
Can
excited.
you imagine, sorry, if some Are You the One rookie won $1 million. I mean, like,
pissed.
I don't
I'd be
think
vetoing to
that's
get them kicked off.
how
and not let them come
pissed.
back.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So this person I was really excited because we haven't seen him in a very long time, and he was very likable and he was really good.
Who?
Derek.
My favorite.
Yes.
Derek Kaczynski. Yeah.
Derek.
He's my all-time favorite.
He's back.
I did meet him in real life. Little insider knowledge. Yes, I went to a long time ago, not a super long time ago, but I went to some MTV thing, and Derek was there. And this is fans, you heard it first, and I fell down because I was wearing really high heels, and I skimmed my knee, and he like is the sweet person that you think. He was like, oh, and like put a Band-Aid on it and was really nice. So Derek, shout out. And yeah, awesome, very sweet. And then he sort of disappeared from challenges for a while.
Right.
And he's always been my ride or die favorite. So I am so excited to see
Good.
him back in the game.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a nice story.
Yeah.
He does seem like a really, really nice, genuine
He was very, very sweet.
guy. Devin is back. He was doing an Are You the One challenge spin-off of that show with his partner that he won on the show with, or they like matched or whatever.
Okay.
And so he did that, so that's why we didn't see him last season. Hunter is back.
Okay.
Jordan is back. Leroy.
All right.
I love Leroy.
Now, okay. Leroy's back. So Jordan, I thought, because wasn't Dario shooting this weren't they shooting during this shooting? Like, how are they all there though?
It was probably right away.
They just went from
it was right
to that.
away.
Okay.
Yeah, it had to be. Nelson is back. Shane.
Okay, great.
Shane, Tony's brother. Tony, the one that has
Shane, Tony's brother. Wait, you get to be in it just because you were someone's brother on the family competition?
He came on as like not a rival.
No, as the family
what they call
the blood.
Well, he was on that challenge,
whatever.
but he was originally on the Real World as like they brought him in halfway.
Got it.
As
Okay.
Tony's like
Right, I
rival,
remember,
bad
but
blood
okay.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
Well, that's how Jenna's on too, because her ex brought her on too on the Real World, and then she got to do the challenge.
Okay.
Tony is back as well. Amanda, I secretly like her. Anissa,
I
she's
secretly
back.
like her.
Ashley,
I like her commentary and her eye rolls. She's got a wry. It's like, I don't know.
Ashley is back. A girl named Brittany from Are You the One?
Okay.
So she's a rookie. Camilla is back. Cara.
Okay.
Jemmy.
Good. Yeah, I love
remember
her.
Jemmy?
Yes, yes.
Okay, we haven't seen her. Let's see. Jenna.
Yeah.
Kayla.
Okay.
Latoya.
Okay.
I don't know if you know who she is.
I do.
Marie.
What was she from?
She's from Battle of the Seasons. She kind of has like the surfer vibe, long blonde hair.
Oh. Okay.
Nicole, which is Nani's
cousin Nicole.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's back.
Okay.
Simone.
Okay.
Tori from Are You the One?
Okay.
Veronica.
I know. I'm excited about Veronica.
I did not know she was
I like
back.
some of the OGs. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know
I'm
she was
excited.
back.
And
I hope she does better.
I do too. I mean, this was such a tease of any Veronica. We'll see. I hope she does better too. I hope she lasts a little longer.
And that's it.
It is hard for those people though. Like it's the Are You the One people, the people that have been around for a long time. I feel like Derek's been more a part of the like family than Veronica has. He'll probably have a little more allies than Veronica did, but a lot of these people, so there's 30 people in all. I would say a good 15 to 20 that you just read off have been in the most recent, so they're all close. They all have all these
Not
alliances.
even that, but these kids are like 22, 24 years old versus Bananas, who's got 10 years on that.
And is that a hindrance or a
You know
help,
what?
do you think?
I've always thought, I don't want to say kids, but like the younger kids have the advantage because they are young and they don't have back pain, they don't have ACL tears on their knees, things like that, and so they're a little bit more agile than say the veterans. But if you are a veteran, if we take away the experience on the challenge, if you work out and you eat right and your body's healthy just in general, then you can build up to doing these things and working out correctly and things like that, so I think there's pros and cons in both.
Well, for sure, because then you see these young bucks, they don't, well, first of all, there's a few areas where they're not as, not as strong. They do not have the relationships that the veterans have. They do not have the experience and the know-how of these challenges, which even as much as they're inventive, they're all spins on a similar theme.
Right.
Like there's only so many things you can do. And they don't have the alliances. They don't have the, so there's so much to be said for those things, which are equal, if not as important to anything else. Like we saw, take a Hunter versus CT.
Yeah.
Hunter might be younger and in better shape, but who cares? So on some level.
Yeah,
it depends. That's why the challenges are so exciting. It depends on how these are structured. Is it team-based? Is it going to be one-on-one? Is it going to be like...
I think it's going to be all over the place because the way I think that this is going to be a really good season, and I really, really like the fact that they're taking some of the older, and not in age, but like the old people that we've seen past them. Yeah, the OGs are back and kind of shake things up a little bit. Yeah. But and they're dealing. I don't know. I can picture Veronica. Throwing some
I'd like to see
punches.
Katie back. Katie and Derek were always good friends.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a little Katie, but guess she's not in this one. I am upset that Laurel's not in this.
No.
Is she? Right. Well, I wonder. All right. Well,
Nor Nicole is. I know she just got a job, so maybe that's
they're nesting.
That's
they're
you never know.
something.
And Ashley's not here either.
All right.
But Dario is.
Right.
Ashley,
the Ashley blonde Ashley.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that is it.
I think so. I guess that's it. I'm so excited for the next one, July 18th.
July 18th on Tuesday, 18th. Yes, and so we will be here breaking that down because that is going to be very exciting, and we are going to try our best to get all those guests in for you as well.
Yes.
But that is it at the season of Champs versus Pros, and thank you guys for joining us all season, and we will see you guys back July 18th. And where can everybody find you?
Yes, you July 18th. Thank you guys so much for being with us, and please let us know your thoughts on the upcoming season. My name is Pam Gross, and you can find me at Pamela Gross Jill on Twitter and Instagram. Thanks, guys.
And you guys can find me on Twitter at _Paulina Aguilar and on Instagram at Paulina Aguilar, and we will see you guys July.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.